where I stand. God is standing strong where I breathe. God is breathing life in and out and through me. As me, where I sing, God is. Where I dance, joy lifts my feet. Where I live, beauty's flowing free in and out and through me. As me, where I doubt, God is the faith in me. Where I cry, God is the comfort there. Where I seek, God is the answer. Here and now, forever and ever and ever. Where I speak, truth is. Where I work, love is my career. Where I play, God is playing boldly in and out and through me. As me, do 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 do. Do 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 do. Where I am, where I stand, where I play, where I work and breathe and move and be, where I sing, where I dance my dance, my dance, wherever I go, where I pray and take and give and live. God is. God is. God is.
And so, right where we are, God is. Wherever you are this evening, God is. And as you proceed into the new year, God is. And through all that you've experienced, God was. And yet it was and it is and it always will be, because God is that which is changeless. It is the Alpha and the Omega. It is the beginning and the end, and it's all the middles. It's not just where we came from and where we're going to. It is expressing through us in this very moment, wanting to be recognized. God recognized must produce an effect. So this evening, my prayer is that we recognize its presence, that we recognize its power, that we recognize its love, that we recognize the possibilities that lie within us, longing to be expressed outward so that we can be all that we were created to be, which is an expression of the Most High. God made manifest. And so with that intention in mind, I let this service flow through all of the music and the message out to everyone listening and who will listen. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for bringing us together. And so it is. Now, bringing us together is sort of an interesting term. I sometimes just pray and I just listen to myself as I'm doing it. Go, oh yeah, together. There's nobody here except the musicians and the sound people, and videographers. The people that help us bring this together. Because guess what? Snow, 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 and more snow, and fears of snow, and hope for spring. But together. If you're watching, we're together because truly we are so connected. The Spirit of God connects us. Our intentionality connects us. Our caring about each other connects us. And that's what really is important. So I'm glad that you're here. This is an interactive service. It's always been an interactive service, which is one of the reasons I've always loved this service, is because I make people do things. And you're, sitting on your couch. I don't know where you are. But I hope that you participate because it's your participation that will support the revelation of what I'd like to have revealed in you today. So a lot of times we watch games and we watch movies and we watch religious events or services, and it's a sort of a sit-back kind of thing. I hope that you lean in. Just lean in. Because these are going to be leaning in messages for all of us. Lean in messages. So if you have a friend, text them and say, let's watch this together. Share this. If you're on Facebook, share it on your Facebook page. Let's get some interaction so that you can not only have the experience, but then share it with others, because there are some things in here that just works better as a group. And so we're working with what we have, which is the best technology. And my goodness, look at the background. I'm so happy. If you get a chance, when it's not snowing, and you're in the Green Lake area, join us, because the sanctuary is adding something almost every week. And we just keep getting better and better because we want to create a glorious experience in this room. So that when you walk in, you go, oh, wow. Because that's what you deserve. Oh, wow. But right now, we have an Oh, Wow song by Stephanie Ann Johnson. Thank you.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone will change. No one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. 'Cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure. Except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter winter turns to spring, a wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon, 'cause everything must change. The young becomes the old, and mysteries do unfold, 'cause that's the way of time. Nothing and no one goes unchanged. There are not many things in life you can be sure of, except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and music makes me cry.
Well, if the room were filled with people, there'd be a big sigh of relief and just a sort of a, ooh, wow, that was lovely. You know, there's some things that don't change, and that's you have a really nice voice. You have a really nice voice. Oh, man, and I'm hoping that some things change. I'm going to tell you a story about something that happened. Hopefully it doesn't happen anymore. But I'm going to talk about intentions in a bit, and I think I started to experience the thrill of intentions in 1992 when I decided I wanted to travel the world. I wanted to see the world. I was, Oregon, Washington, that was it. And I made an intention. I don't know how I want to do it, but I want to travel. I want to travel internationally. And the very next year, in January, a friend of mine invited me to take what they used to do, which were fam trips, where you became familiar with a country, and the country that was opening up to tourism was Russia. So in April of 1993, I was in Russia. And we flew to, I don't know, must have been Air Swiss, I don't know. We flew to someplace in Scandinavia, and then the Scandinavian countries, I'm not sure which. That was uneventful. What was eventful is that we were taking Aeroflot, which was the Russian airlines, to Moscow. And it was called Aeroflop because it wasn't known for being a great airline, nor did they fly great planes. I mean, that was kind of the rumor. But then I understood as soon as I got there, because you know how you buckle yourself in so that in case there is a problem, you don't fall forward? Well, guess what? The seats were moving. They were not stable. I thought, oh, this is if the seats aren't stable, what else is not stable in this plane? And I think everybody was thinking that, because when we landed in Moscow, cheers erupted. I mean, cheers. We landed! It was just so scary. So I just, why am I saying this? Why am I telling you about my trip to Moscow? Because, frankly, I felt that way a lot this year. I mean, I honestly thought that as soon as 2020 was over, 2021 had to be better, and it is a smidgen, but there's still so much like, what? I feel like my seat is not stable. I feel like, what can I depend on? And then I have to remember that there's something that I have to find that's more stable. My circumstances may not be so stable, so I have to find my own stability, and that's what I'm hoping to convey today. Jesus had a number of followers, and they called themselves followers of the way. They didn't call themselves followers of Jesus or Jesus, it's just the way. And the way was to recognize that there was something good going on within them, no matter what was going on outside of them. I believe that was truly what was the way was. And so instead of, for me, what I want to do is, if I want to be part of that way, is I do not want to ruminate on my difficulties. I want to celebrate what I overcame. I want to celebrate I landed. I want to celebrate I've arrived. I want to celebrate I'm still okay. So if you're watching, I'd love for you to do what I was doing last night, which is I'd like you to cheer yourself on because you made it through another very interesting year. By the way, in Chinese culture, interesting was a curse, not a good thing. We made it through an interesting year with like, what? Now what? And so I'd like you to take a moment. I said this would be interactive, and if you were here, I'd be having you write something down, but you're home, so you probably won't write it down. But I'd love for you to take just a second, maybe 30, and think to yourself, what are 3 things that you could cheer about? What are 3 things that were marvelous for you, personally marvelous for you in 2021? What went really well? How did you land in a great way? What I can say is I'm a better cook, had to. I'm in better shape. I was starting to ride again, and I ride enough that I have to pick up the 25-pound saddle and lift it up over my horse's back and set it gently on him. Now, just doing that a number of times, I've become stronger. Riding has made me stronger. I'm in better shape than I've been in a long time. And I have a deeper, wider, stronger faith. This year has caused me to need to have a deeper, wider, stronger faith. What has this year done for you? How have you landed in a really positive way? And I know that dichotomy is the name of the game. Where there's a this, there's a that. Because it's the polarity that makes things move. So probably also in your mind, you may have something ruminating in your mind that says, yeah, but. It's that tendency for our mind to hold on to those things that didn't work out. So let's just give that chance. Let's just talk about it. Only we're not talking about it. But give your mind a chance to talk about it. What didn't work out? What disappointed you? And where did you fail? We're not going to stay there, but sometimes it's good to just note it, because if you do not note it and see it, you can't release it. We don't do a spiritual bypass and say it was all good, good, good. Well, no, there's some not so good. Take note of it. Be honest with yourself. I, for one, was really disappointed that I couldn't pray COVID away. I mean, honestly. I just thought, well, if it came, why can't we just pray this away? And no. I'm very disappointed it's still with us. And yet, in a Buddhist teaching, what they would say is that resisting what's so puts you in hell. Well, they don't use the word hell, but it makes you unhappy. You're resisting what's so just makes you crazy. And maybe that's what's adding to the angst in people's minds, is it's like, no, it can't be happening. Well, yeah, it is. And when the resistance is gone, in Buddhism, it's not the thing that has to go away, it's the resistance to the thing that has to go away. And when we allow ourselves to stop resisting, resilience can take over. We're either resisting or we're resilient. See, then the creativity and the direction can start to kick in. Like, yeah, this is happening, but I can do this with it. Yeah, we don't go out to eat anymore, but I'm a better cook. Because frankly, the 3 recipes I was living off of weren't enough anymore. Things shift when we shift. Things shift when we shift. So, pick one thing that you blame yourself for, that you blame others for, or that you really, really, really regret. There's a whole workshop that I've done before that when something happens and we move into either blame others, shame ourselves, or regret a circumstance, all we can do is feel bad and powerless, and therefore when the same thing happens again, it'll be the same circle. The same circle. The same circle. And how many of you have felt that deja vu experience? Ugh. The way to get out of that syndrome, that downward circle of circumstance, blame, shame, regret, feel victimized, feel powerless, something happens, blame, shame, regret, victimization, powerlessness, blame, blah, 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 blah. I'm a Debbie Downer, aren't I? Jeez. It gets up. What goes down must come up. I promise. But when we want to get off of that cycle, the way to get off of that cycle is be willing to turn it over to Spirit and say, let me learn from this, let me grow from this, let me transcend this, and then we feel like a victor, not a victim, and we feel powerful instead of powerless. And when something happens, the more we can just be on that circle of, guess what? I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm overcoming, I'm not a victim, I am a victor, I am growing in power. And it's just like, whoa, same stuff. But how we react to that shifts and changes. So take just a second. What is a thing that you've been holding on to this year that you know victimizes you? Makes you a victim. You think about it and go, you lose all your power. It's like one of those, I so don't understand them, so if you have one in your yard, bless you. But those little blow-up things, that they put on their lawns for Christmas, I just don't get it. We have one in our neighbor's yard, and the Santa planted itself on the snow, and Tim and I are walking in the snow, looking at things, and here's Santa goes, boom, he said, oh, God, Santa had too much to drink. It's just horrible. I hate those things. But anyway, if you let the air out of those things, they'd go blah, 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 blah. And so that's what happens to us sometimes. We get something triggers us and we go blah, blah, blah. No, be filled with Spirit. But before you can do that, you have to say, I will not succumb to that. Now, I'd have somebody everyone here, but I'd like you. What's a thing you're willing to give up? What's a blame or a shame or regret you're willing to give up? Know that. Know it now. I'm going to give you a powerful, powerful technique for letting it go. But first you have to know. So raise your hand if you know. And if you're with other people, have them raise their hand. Come on, let's just, All right, so here's the deal. And this is really spiritual. And it comes from a holy woman. Taylor Swift. And what she said is just shake it off. Shake it off. Off. Now, if I had a room full of people, they'd all be feeling better right now. And honestly, you know, I'm not trying to make light of this, but I will often go like this. Like, no, you're not attaching yourself to me. No, you can't, no, you have no place to stay in me. Go away. Because dis-ease thoughts find their way into the body. So use your body to let them go, to shake it off. Now, let's go into this talk about intentions. I want to give you two definitions. The first is resolution. Resolution is a decision to do something or not do something. So you decide, I will go to the gym. I will eat less. I will eat better. I will call my relatives, whatever. And that takes discipline, because if you're not doing it now, it's going to take a lot of discipline to start to do it. Habits are hard. And you can only make so many decisions a day. There's a study on that. You know why a lot of the people we know about this, about Zuckerberg and who started Apple? Steve Jobs. They only had one thing that they would wear every day. They would not use their decision-making power to decide what to wear. Really. According to neuroscience, you wake up with a whole lot of power to do this, to make decisions, and it starts to wane. We'll all have a different decision level, matrix. Some of you can make 5 really good decisions, and some of you can do 15 or 50, but we all have a level, and once we reach there, it's like we just get fuzz-brained. So to decide that I'm going to have a new habit takes away from some of your decision-making choices. Intention, on the other hand, is to have an aim, an end in mind. And according to Judge Thomas Troward, who really got me going on this whole intention thing, in the end is the means. And when you hold an end in mind, you're not deciding to do anything, but when you just hold an end in mind, that end draws you to it. You're moved into it. So going back to international travel, I didn't know how I was going to travel. I didn't have the money to travel. But my friend offered it at such a low price, even I could go to an exotic place called Russia. And cold. And I realized that one of the reasons that I wanted to have that travel, I didn't know it at the time, because an intention is something that it's something that wants to draw you out. You give it a voice. It's already in you. And what I've noticed about traveling internationally is every time I come back home, I'm better. I learn from the people that are not like me. I'm inspired by scenes that are not things I've seen before. There's something that shifts in me, and it seems to be my incubation place. To be out of town, something incubates and is birthed in me when I come back. It's maybe God's way of schooling me. But I do know that to have a high and holy intention is always God-inspired and God-supported. So since I've started working on intentions in the early or mid-90s, I've always asked people to ask what's in their heart. Not what they want to do, like we're not planning a kitchen. You don't have to come up with all the schematic and Gantt charts for how this is all going to be accomplished. No, you let your heart speak, and then your mind keeps it in mind. To ask our heart, what does my higher self want, is very powerful. What does my heart want? What does my heart want me? And when I say me, that's little me. That's my personality. That's your personality. Our heart, I believe, speaks from our higher self, which is our divine self, which is united to everything else. It's wisdom itself. But me as a personality hasn't caught up yet. So as I listen to my heart, then I'm given direction from that deep space of wisdom in me. So I say, what does my higher self want me to accomplish or express this year? Not what I want to have, not what I'm going to do, not where I'm going to go, but what do I want to accomplish or express? So you're going to have some time now. Stephanie Ann, in just a second, is going to sing this beautiful song, and I'd really like you to use the song to settle in and listen to your heart. And then in a few minutes, or probably even a little bit while Stephanie Ann is singing, you're going to see the intentions card that we created. And you can download it later, but just look at it. Just look to see what you're called to be in 2022.
Finding myself at a loss for words, and the funny thing is, it's okay. The last thing I need is to be heard, but to hear what you would say. So word of God speak, pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know you're in this place. Please let me stand, rest in your holiness. Word of God speak. Finding myself in the midst of you, beyond the music, beyond the noise, and all that I need is to be with you. And in the quiet, hear your voice. So word of God speak, pour down like rain, washing my eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know you're in this place. Please let me stand, rest in your holiness. Word of God speak, oh, pour down like rain, just washing my eyes to see your majesty, to be still and know you're in this place. Please let me stand, rest in your holiness. Word of God speak. Finding myself at a loss for words, and the funny thing is, it's okay.
And so let that word speak. Perhaps right now. But if you give it permission, if you say, divine self within, reveal to me a high and holy intention to hold for the coming year. Reveal to me a high and holy intention for the coming year. Make it so large and so vast that it can't be accomplished without divine intervention, so that I may grow in my awareness of the divine, that I'm no longer working this out on my own. I'm surrounded by an intelligence, and I am susceptible to its messaging. I'm surrounded by a divine power of love, and I'm filled with its power. I am filled with the ability to move forward with gladness and joy. And what I know is if you ask, you shall receive. You shall receive. Maybe not in this moment, but let it ruminate the next few days. Download the intention card, and then write down what you hear. And put it someplace where you can see it. Put it someplace where you can keep your eye on it. All you have to do is keep it in mind. Now that the heart has revealed an intention to the mind just has to keep it in mind. Just keep it before you. And don't tell anyone. This is big. This is big. I'm going to share more on my faith lift next Wednesday, but this is so big. Psychology studies have proven that when we tell someone our goal and they acknowledge it, we are less likely to do the work that is necessary to accomplish the goal. This is because the brain mistakes talking for doing. In other words, gratification came when we were acknowledged, and then the brain thinks we're done. I mean, it's like that makes so much sense. That's why Jesus said, pray in private. Now it makes so much sense. Because I know what it's like. I've shared things and gotten the atta-girls, and then I just sort of no, keep your high and holy intention to yourself, like Mary did. Ponder it until you're moved to do something, and then do that thing. And in the meantime, take care of yourself. Because you are the vehicle through which God can do something new. New for yourself, new for your family, new for your community perhaps, new for the world. See, I want to change the world, but I can't change the world if everybody's doing the same old thing that they've always been doing. I need to be new. We need to be new. We need to encourage other people to think in new ways and to do new things so we can have a whole new world. Let's make everything, I got an idea. Let's make everything new.
Bring it on, everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. All I know is gonna be everything new. And I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something, girl, that'll never return. Oh, I think I finally learned. So bring it on, everything new, everything different, my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I'm through grieving, I'm through dreaming that the life I had is ever coming back. No more wishing on someone else's star that'll never be mine. Oh, I think it's finally time to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before, a broken heart and a slamming door. I'll be alright, yes I will, once more, just like I did it back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. Bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. All I know it's gonna be everything new. All I know it's gonna be everything new.
Woo! I love that song, and whenever we ask someone to participate in this service, would you sing that song? Because it just seems so appropriate for this evening. For this evening, everything new. Bring it on, God, and bring it on through me, through me. A few announcements. First of all, we have an intentions workshop that you can download. It's downloadable, and much more emphasis on everything new, because there's so much work that can be done. And I love that it's downloadable, so you can stop it, write things out, start it again. Please see what's happening on your screen and sign up for that, or go to our website, spiritualliving.org, or call Heidi at the office, which is so much fun. Also, if you call Heidi at the office and give her your phone number, then you will hear my pleasant voice. I hope it's pleasant. Every evening, call comes out at 8 o'clock. Sometimes it comes out a little, a few minutes late or something. But I've heard that, well, it comes at 8 o'clock and when I'm not ready to answer the phone yet. Well, just let it go to voicemail. Listen to it anytime you want. And what I will be doing for the next year is 365 promises that are found in our Bible. See, too many people put emphasis on God as a vengeful God, which is basically human beings creating God in their image. And there's so many promises. So every evening, I'm going to share a promise and talk to you about how you can make that promise real in your life. So if that interests you, I encourage you to call Heidi, say, I just want to be part of the Thoughts to Sleep On. No advertisements, it's free. We'll send, you'll be on the list, all right? And what I'd also love is for you to support this message, this ministry, and us wanting to live radical spirituality. That's my theme. That's our theme at the Center for Spiritual Living next year is radical spirituality. What if God were all? What if God were the solution to every human problem? What if God is in the midst of everything, and when we recognize God, something shifts? I mean, like, what if we were radical? Not like, I really like this center because they're so inclusive. Oh, we're inclusive because God's inclusive. And I get excited. Obviously, I'm on fire for this. I'm on fire for this. And in January, we're going to set it up by becoming miracle-minded. So join us, but support us, because we can do this because you support. So all the ways that you can support us are on your screen. Thank you. And the easiest way is not tonight because he's not going to be there. But on Sunday through Thursday, call the office and say, guess what? I'd like to make a donation and Michael will help you out. Except tonight it'd be really great because that way we could put it into 2021 and we're kind of short in 2021 because of snow. So if you gave tonight, it'd be really nice, really nice. And then just know that no matter what you do, you are loved. You are wonderful. And so it is. So I'm so grateful to Bruce and to Guy and to all of the musicians and to Stephanie Ann for trekking through the snow so that we could be in your home this evening. I'm grateful to the Center for Spiritual Living, all the staff that, wow, we are learning to be so resilient. Instead of resisting what was happening, God has made us creative and flexible and determined to share that God's still at it, still present, still alive, still speaking, and still listening. And so with that attitude of great gratitude, I simply speak my word of blessing for the ending of this year. And the spiritual power to move into the next year with grace. Grace. Faith. And an expectation of good for ourselves and others. And so it is.